salary is okay for living in Taiwan, or other countries like US, Europe have much better salaries? Next would be like the favorite thing about living in Taiwan so far. Did you find any language barrier like working at your department? I felt Taiwan is more like India for me, like after living there for 6, 7 years. Please go through this whole video, don't skip it. Hello, Tori buddies. Welcome to Tori Tales. From past 1 to 1.5 months, I've been getting lots of questions that if you got a postdoc or a work, how to go through the visa process, get your certificate authenticated. Everything would be included in this video. So don't skip the part. Watch till the end because this video would be very informative. I have someone who would be sharing her experience of coming from another country to Taiwan as a postdoc researcher. So let's go. Hi, I'm Ishika Palit. I'm a postdoctoral fellow working here in NTHU. I work in astrophysics, computational astrophysics. So to be specific, I work in Department of Physics, and the institute is Institute of Astronomy here. I joined around July 2023, so it's been almost 3 years. And yeah, I'm kind of loving it here in Shenzhen. Okay. So, Ishika, my first question to you would be like, how did you find the postdoc opportunity in Taiwan? Did you find it directly or through any connections? Okay, so as I was saying, like I work in astrophysics, so there is some portals for in our community, like AA's job register, if I have to say, like American Astronomical Job Societies. So usually they post the vacancies there. So I found this job vacancy also from there, and I applied through the portal, and then the process go through the university. You get shortlisted for interviews and further processes. So the second question would be like, what made Taiwan stand out apart from the other countries that you were considering to join or as a postdoc? I would say when I was making the choice more than the country, I was focused on the project and the group and the professor I'm going to work with. Like the country was the secondary choice. Like it's fine whenever whether I get anywhere is fine if it's the professor and the project I like. So I wasn't very sure like how Taiwan is, rather than I was more concerned about how the project is, how the professor is. So yeah. When you got the offer letter, like everything was confirmed, what was the first thing you did? So after accepting the offer letter, yeah, the first thing was to try for the visa thing, like how you can go there and the documentation. So usually in Taiwan, they send you a letter from Ministry of Labor, which is required for the visa purpose. And yeah, and then you have how long was the duration for you given, like within this period you have to join? For me, I think my interview was around March 23, and I was supposed to give the answer by April, and the position was from July. So this was the roughly the time like scale. 3 to 4
Yeah,
months within this.
yeah.
Okay, nice. Next would be that we'll talk about the document preparation, because when people get to have a job or work or postdoc, so what is the document that we need to prepare if you're coming from India or from any other countries? So I would like you to share your experience, like from where did you apply, what documents you needed, and how was your step by step procedure?
Yeah, so when I got this offer, I was working in Tel Aviv. I was in Israel. So I didn't have the option to go back to India and apply for this visa. So I applied it from there. And when I was offered, I was told that I can apply for a gold card as well, which is like a residence permit here. So there are some qualification categories. So my PhD institute was qualifying for that gold card. So I did apply for that, but the process is like I think 1.5 month for gold card roughly. And you have to pick the gold card in person. So I had no other option than applying for a visitor visa. So I applied for a visitor visa from Israel. For that, I needed the ministry letter, the offer letter, and the Ministry of Labor document. I think some salary statement or bank statement to give backup, like you have sufficient funds, and a valid passport. Yeah, on top of my head, I can remember.
So you didn't need any health insurance apart from that, right?
I think I bought one on my own. Like the Israeli health insurance wasn't covering like international travels or something, so I think I bought something on my own.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
for few short period, 2 3 months, kind of like yeah.
So from where you did your PhD, so this will give our audience a brief about like from which country did you apply and
Is that the same procedure that you need to like have a verification of your degree from the country you had your PhD?
Okay, so I did my PhD from Warsaw, Poland. It's a Center for Theoretical Physics in Warsaw. Yeah, for Taiwan, so I got to know when I was applying for Taiwan visa, I got to know there is some Hague Convention, and some countries don't fall into that convention. So for those, if you are going to those countries, you need to validate your degree from the Ministry of Education of each country, the country who gave you the degree. So if you got your degree from India, you need Ministry of Education in India or in Poland to verify that document. In my case, I had to go through additional step was to translate the degree because it was in Polish. So you need a certified English or Chinese translator, and then you need to get it verified from Ministry of Education in Poland, and then again from Taiwan Embassy, they do some authentication about the
Yes,
degree.
yes,
Yeah.
ECC
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
authentication.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the procedure is same even if you apply from India or from any other country, you have to go through the same, like get it attested by the Ministry of External Affairs, and then you go through the TECC attestation, and then you apply for your visa. After you landed in Taiwan, what were the procedure? Like you came here as a visitor visa, and then did you apply for ARC or you went for the gold card?
I wasn't allowed to apply for both the things, so either gold card or ARC. So when I went to the immigration office, because I have already applied it from Tel Aviv, so I had to wait for the card to arrive. As I said, like maybe a month and a half or approx 2 months to get the gold card.
So after arrival, within 15 days, you got your
Yeah,
gold
yeah,
card,
the
right?
same month. Yeah, I
Okay,
got it.
nice.
Yeah.
And that helped you to get your NHI, which is National Health Insurance.
Yeah, I think like for any employment here, you have to go through this medical test before you start the employment contract. And then I got the test and certificate was sent to the office. And yeah, I think the very first month I got the NHI card as well.
When did you open your bank account? Like after how many days and what documents you needed? And how did you solve your housing problem? Because accommodation is a very big thing
Yeah,
in any country you go.
that's true. Okay, let's start with the banking first. So, of course, like moving to another country is a big pressure, like financially as well. So, make sure you have enough funds because it can take some time to get the bank account or the salary remitted. Here, you can't open an account without the residence permit, the ARC. So, you need your passport and ARC. So, it might take some time to get the account. So, it might also delay your salary remittance. For first few months, you should have your own funds, I would say, as a backup plan. And for accommodation, of course, yeah, it's a big challenge every time moving to a new country. I was lucky. I actually one of my friend. I got to know like he is working in the same group. He's also a postdoc, so he offered me an option in his apartment. There was another vacancy there, so instead of booking an Airbnb, I directly went there. So for initial days, I would suggest like it's better to find some Airbnb or something while you look for apartments.
So, what was your biggest culture shock in Taiwan?
So since I moved from like it has been a long time since I left India. I left India around 2017. So I came here via Poland and Tel Aviv. So for me, the culture shock was different from European countries rather than from India.
Comparing,
Yeah, compared to India. I felt Taiwan is more like India for me. Like after living there for 6, 7 years, this was a bit like home. Here you can find apartments which don't have kitchen. So it has its own pros and cons. That's a bit very like a shock for me because usually I always rented an apartment in my previous positions, which came with a kitchen by default. But that's not the scenario here. So kitchen is not included in the apartment most of the time. It has pros and cons like food. I personally I really like food here. So I don't mind not having a kitchen because I don't cook that often. But I know many Indians or many people don't prefer that or they like cooking food or many are vegetarians and they won't like to eat outside. So in that case, yeah, having a kitchen would be better. But here, not always you can find an apartment with kitchen.
Did you find any language barrier like working at your department or maybe like going outside for some shopping or something? Like, was that an issue for you?
Of course, it's a different language, especially the script you can't read. So it's also a bit difficult, at least for first few months, when you have to go through all the bureaucracy and the documentation, like banks and getting your residence, everything. Work-wise, I don't felt any difficulty because as academia is quite international nowadays, right? So like in Institute of Astronomy, we can easily communicate in English. Everything is done in English. So language wasn't a barrier work-wise. Of course, there are like some forms you have to sign in or you have to read or fill out, which could be in Chinese. So Google Translate comes to rescue, or you can ask your professor or some local friends or colleagues or
Lab
some
mates.
lab mates. It's a difficulty, but I think it's manageable.
Manageable,
Yeah, you
right.
can manage. It's exciting, right? Adventurous.
How do we compare, like salary is okay for living in Taiwan, or other countries like US, Europe have much better salaries?
Postdoctoral salary here in Taiwan is above average. So yeah, you can have a comfortable livelihood. Like living cost is really low compared to other countries, Europe or US. So of course, like if you have higher living costs, your salary gonna get higher, right? So in Europe or US, you'll have much higher salary, but then also the rent or the food, the living cost gets very high. So here with the postdoctoral salary, I think it's you can have a comfortable life. You can live comfortably. That's
Did you find any Indian or international community to join, or how did that help?
yeah. I met a lot of Indian friends who are not also in academia. Like I'm Bengali, and there was Durga Puja happening very soon, so I got to meet a lot of Bengali people there. But also in academia, like in Institute of Astronomy, there are a lot of Indian postdocs, especially Bengali postdocs. So we do have like a lot of yeah. Like sometimes we will just catch up for food, or there is some any gathering, someone's visiting or anything. Yeah, and that really helps when you're alone in a country outside. Yeah, but in Taipei, I think they have more organized community activities and all this. In Hsinchu being a small city, I don't think there are many activities, but yeah.
At least for Indians.
Yeah. But you can find friends,
Yeah,
per
true.
se. Yeah. So
So now we'll have a short, fun, rapid fire round. So what, like you have to give a short advice to our audience.
okay.
So my first question would be like one document people always forget.
Okay, in my case, I forgot that I have to go back to India, so I didn't have the cash currency, and also I had to think about the network connection because most of the Indian airports don't have the Wi-Fi now, so you have to connect it through the phone number or something. So yeah, I would say keep your number active or keep some Indian currency.
Or call someone to pick you
Yeah.
up. Okay, so next would be like one thing you would tell someone starting this process today.
Postdoc
Yeah,
process, right?
who want to like come for work or something.
Okay. Okay. Like personally, I for postdoctoral positions, I suggest like people should look for the project, the professor mainly, what kind of work they're doing, how's the group, country, because now in academia the jobs are so less, so it's not always our choice where we land up, right? So.
Next is what's the biggest myth about moving to Taiwan for work?
I heard that every like everyone is very strict about the timings, office timings, but it's not. It's very group specific, professor specific. I mean, yeah.
So it's like work has to be done, right? Like
Yeah, of course. That's the baseline, right? Like you have to work, but it's not like you have to just come at this time and you have to be there till this time. It's yeah.
okay, nice. Next would be like the favorite thing about living in Taiwan so far.
I like the food really. It's like really affordable, and as I said, I eat everything, so I really like the food options here, which I missed in Europe because yeah, there you can have so small bits and pieces of food is one good thing.
Nice. All right, so with this, we'll end this. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So whoever is coming to Taiwan, I hope we have like had all the questions and all the information that Ishika can give through her perspective. See you in the next video.